Minutes to go over two of the slides in the VoiceThread that you completed yesterday, just to clarify a couple things with learning goals. So these two slides were the ones that most people seemed a little unsure about. I would say probably like it went half and half, and then the other two slides, it seemed like more people were a little bit more certain on their footing in their responses. So with this first slide, the learning goal is by the end of the course, you will understand how media influences politics. So the key here, and a lot of people did say this, is to look at the verb understand. And that verb is a very tricky verb in the world of learning objectives. It's kind of like the sworn enemy of learning objectives, I guess you could say, because it's something that's really vague and not measurable. So if you go back to that SMART acronym that I talked about in the lecture video, we need something that is measurable. So if you're sitting with the learner, can you actually tell that they understand how the media influences politics? The answer here is no, not directly. So we need to change that verb to something that we can measure. And when you go through the VoiceThread comments, you'll see some people did hit this nail on the head. We could change the verb to something like, by the end of this course, you will identify how the media influences politics, or you will explain how the media influences politics. Some people discussed that you could be a little bit more specific with how the media influences politics. That is a little bit vague. I think you could be more specific there, but the big kind of red flag on this one is that the verb understand, that's always a bad verb, and you should never use it for a learning objective. So that's the first one that a couple people seem tripped up on. And then the next two slides I'm going to save so you guys can review those when you are making a comment on a classmate slide. And then finally, with this last slide, some people, we got some different answers on this. So with this learning objective, by the end of this unit, you'll be able to use Photoshop features to edit an image. So the verb here is kind of like a measurable verb. Yeah, you can see if someone can use Photoshop features. But what Photoshop features are they using? That is something that is not specific. Going back to that SMART acronym, the S stands for specific. And that also makes it tough to measure, because what exactly are they editing? So you don't know what the end product is in this learning goal. What if the student actually can complete this learning goal? What should their end image look like? You'll be able to use Photoshop features to crop an image, could be an example. You'll be able to use Photoshop features to recolor an image, something like that. So you want to know, is the verb a measurable verb that you can actually see if the learner's done it? And is the product something that's measurable in the end? Can you tell what the end product should look like based on what the learning goal is? And in this learning goal, that's not really the case. You don't know what the end product will be. So if you're still feeling a little bit confused about analyzing learning goals, I really encourage you to go through the VoiceThread comments, because a lot of your classmates have really good analyses of these learning goals, see what they've commented on. And then if you're still feeling a little confused, feel free to reach out to me, and we can set up a time to talk about where your confusions are and how you can look at the learning goals in a little bit more of an effective way.